Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're on STV Glasgow and STV Edinburgh. The main talking points tonight: the draw for the third round of the League Cup has been made at Hampden earlier today. Hibs against Aberdeen and Rangers against St Johnstone, two cracking ties from the overall draw. Callum Higginbotham and James Tavernier might be battling it out for goal of the last round. You can give us your view on that. And it looks as if Billy Mackay could be on his way back to Scottish football. Dundee United have had a bid of £200,000 accepted by Wigan Athletic. So just a few of the things we'll be talking about tonight on the programme in the company of Alan Rough and myself, Peter Martin. We have, of course, Gordon Smith with us. Delighted Gordon could join us. So the draw in full. Let's have a look at it. First of all, lads, and get your thoughts on it. Here's the draw: Kilmarnock against Hearts, Livingston Queen of the South, Ross County Falkirk, Rangers St Johnstone, Celtic against Raith Rovers, Morton Motherwell, Dundee United against Dunfermline, and Hibs against Aberdeen. And of course, I mentioned two ties at the top of the programme, lads, but if Gary Locke, going back to his old club, has got a nice little added spice to it as well, Gordon.
Certainly will have. I mean, it was a decent draw. I mean, there are only two games of all the games that are with teams in the same division. The rest of them are obviously, there's a giant killing opportunity for about another 6 or 7 teams. But I think that that will be interesting with Gary Locke having to go back to Hearts. Certainly he got a good result during the week, but obviously getting through to this round with the way the things are going in the league. So he'll be very keen to go there, to obviously get Hearts at home and see if they can beat them. But I think it's going to be a tough one for Kilmarnock, that one.
Yeah, just last night, 4-1 on Tuesday night, I watched Callum Higginbotham's goal, Ruffy. It was an absolute screamer. Confidence, they'll need that going into the league matches as well. And of course, they need to build up a bit of momentum before they head to Hearts, because they haven't been in great form.
No, they haven't, but Gary Locke and the players will accept a convincing win in the cup there. You know, that sometimes it's good to get away for the league business when you're not doing particularly well. So that win that they've got, he'll be hoping that he can carry it on into the league games.
Well, I don't think anybody was surprised that you didn't fall foul of a mistake last night in your predictions, Ruffy. You got it 100% spot on. Rangers, it was 5-0. Tavernier's goal, Gordon, absolutely top drawer. I mean, it's a goal that Lionel Messi would have been proud of.
Yeah, it was a tremendous goal. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about the fact they're saying some of the Rangers players think he's coming forward too much and he's too individual, but he's getting goals. I mean, great free kicks he's already got. He's already shown he can strike a ball, but it was a very, very good individual goal. Terrific finish, and it was come from a spell. I mean, Rangers had the 3-0 lead after 15 minutes, and then you're thinking this is going to be a real hammering for Airdrie. Then they sort of dropped off and it went quite a bit, and then it was only late in the game again that Rangers started to pile on the pressure, and they got the 2 goals through Shields and Tavernier. But it certainly was a great finish by him, and it was a comfortable win for Rangers, and they are on a terrific run at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's now we're starting to talk about the positives of on the park, Ruffy, because Mark Warburton seems to get a side growing in confidence. Maybe Mark Warburton, as a Rangers manager, wouldn't have liked to hear Nicky Clark saying, "Bring on the Celtic."
No, well, that's what happens when you've got the confidence going for you, and obviously, as Gordon said there, you've got the momentum as well. You're scoring goals for fun, and as the obvious thing to come out with, I think he's maybe been a wee bit soon with that one. I think it's a good test. St Johnstone, I think that would be the starter for me. To see how you're doing against the Premier League sides.
But you know what happens, Ruffy? Somebody will say to him, do you want to play Celtic? And would you be keen to play Celtic? If he says no, the headline is, "We don't want Celtic," right? And if you say, "Yeah, okay," you say,
Gordon, you're letting the cat out of the bag in how we operate. Of course, you need a headline.
It's a headline they'll look for. I know, exactly. That's what he's probably just going, yeah, he can't obviously be negative about it. Yeah, we'd like to play Celtic. So all of a sudden it's bring on the Celtic.
But with St Johnstone, is that going to give us a real gauge of how far they've come? I mean, Rangers, even in the last couple of seasons, have taken Premier League scalps, Ruffy, and with a team that quite a lot of people were far from impressed with.
No, I think this will be a good game to judge. I mean, we spoke about St Johnstone on numerous occasions. They haven't had a great start this season, but they're a kind of team that you wouldn't want to play in a cup competition. That they don't lose that many goals. They're very compact. They don't score many goals either. So I think it'll be a good judge for Rangers taking it game on game, you know, and there's no doubt about it that Rangers are a far better side than what they were last year.
It'll be the biggest crowd of the round, won't it? I mean,
Yes.
I think it will be without doubt. And it is a test. I mean, this is what Rangers, the Rangers fans even themselves are happy with how the team's playing, but the test comes when you have to play against a team in a league above you, no matter what. And you're right what you said, Peter, even though Rangers struggled last season, most of the season, they did have impressive results against Inverness, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock. They beat the three of them at home without losing a goal. So you've got to say that this is a test too.
Well, this is why I love this tournament. It could be really interesting this season. Of course, Robbie Nielsen happy to get through 2-1 for Hearts. He's mentioned, you know, they want to have a right good run in this. You know, and that's going to give us a little insight into them. And for me, the tie of the round is Hibs against Aberdeen. Just on a personal basis, if you're looking at a game, you think, you know, there's a cracker.
Yeah, and again, that would be a good crowd. I think Aberdeen will bring down a big crowd for that. Obviously, Alan Stubbs trying to get his team the way he wants it. We keep talking about strikers again. The other night there, it was only 1-0, but going on 3 or 4. But don't seem to have a striker that is confident enough to win games for them. There was far too many games last year when it was 1-0, and it was really tight right until the end. And sometimes they lost a goal late on. So it's very important he's actively out there trying to get another striker.
Yeah, I think that's the one bit of the jigsaw. If I'm honest with you, McGregor made his debut. McGeoch's in there anyway. He'd come on as a sub prior to that, but he was involved last night. And they've got McGinn in there too.
Yeah.
You know, slowly but surely. You know, he's starting to get middle. Looks good. The back end looks not bad as well now.
Yeah.
And I think, as Ruffy mentioned, if they could just unearth somebody, there was a wee suggestion of John Daly, but I think when we had John on the show, he intimated to us he was only looking for a short-term deal to go elsewhere. Yeah,
I mean, still got Cummins there, and I think that from that point of view, you know, he should be able to step up a little bit more and get goals. So that probably is the part that's missing, because even against Rangers on Sunday, I went to the game and I didn't think Hibs were out of it at all.
Yeah, can I ask you this then?
Yeah.
Is James Keating's the answer? Because he made a fleeting appearance last night, but obviously he's trying to get back to fitness. He likes to play, you know, as a goal scorer as well.
That's a good point. I think he is a goal scoring. He's probably slightly deeper than being right up front.
Yeah, just off the front.
Yeah, just off the front is his best position, I think. But you know, he can get goals from there, and you have to look at it. It's not just about strikers. I mean, the Hibs, as I say, against Rangers, they didn't score. They had chances as well in that game too. Didn't take them. Didn't finish too well. I think it was Henderson had a good chance in that game, and I think that even last night obviously it was an own goal that won them the game. So that is probably the one factor they're missing at the moment, is finishing teams off.
Just out of curiosity, did I ask you guys who you've tipped to win the League Cup?
I don't think Peter.
Can we get your prediction?
I think the League Cup is a cup that always. I'm going to give you.
Go again.
No, I'm not saying
Have you ever on a programme turned around and said, "Here's my choice and here's why"? I can see you're on a mazy.
No, I'm just going to explain why the team I'm going to pick, because the League Cup is not a given to the big sides.
Yeah.
You know, the League Cup through the years has not been won by the expected team, so I'm going to go for Aberdeen. I'm going to go for Aberdeen.
Aberdeen to win.
Yes.
Fun enough, that's who I was going to go for too.
Oh, you can
For the same reason?
Just because I thought it's open really. Aberdeen, I mean, obviously that was the last trophy that they did win, was the League Cup, and it was the first one they'd won for quite some time. But I just think they do also need to get a trophy this year. Hearts weren't interested last year in cups. They were just thinking about promotion. But I think Aberdeen.
Okay.
What about yourself, Peter? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to. Look at Gordon thinking he's laying a trap for me. I am going to suffer the wrath of a few of my mates in Edinburgh. I'm going for Hearts to win the League Cup.
Yeah, that would be my second choice. So that's not a bad choice.
So I think the Jambos, there's just something about them at the moment. It's just although to be fair, I did tip Dunfermline to go unbeaten in the league to only get battered by Peterhead. If I'm looking at a cup shock in this third round, I'm looking at
Morton.
No, I'm looking at Morton, Motherwell, or Dundee United, Dunfermline.
Yeah, that's true. That would be one. That would be a bad one for Dundee United. You know, because you're looking at 2 divisions below. Yeah. Any other games are all 1 division, but Dunfermline's the only team still left in from League One. So you're right. That would be a bad.
I would think the signing of Billy Mackay would be enough to lift them for that. I think Billy Mackay coming back in will give them what they've been lacking. I think if he gets back to the way he was scoring goals with Inverness, I think they're on a winner there.
Okay, so no shock for you anywhere? Morton Motherwell or what?
Morton Motherwell, definitely,
Morton for you as well?
Yeah, that would be the shock.
Okay, finally got it out of Ruffy in the end. That's what you have to do. You just have to drag it out of him. But we got there. In the second half of the programme, we'll also talk a little bit about European football and, of course, the small matter of the Champions League draw and the Europa League draw coming up in the next 24 hours. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. In the first half of the programme, we were delivering the League Cup draw for you and just giving us we were giving you our thoughts on who we thought was going to win. You can give us your thought on who you think is going to win at Peter and Ruffy on Twitter and facebook.com/Peter and Ruffy. And if you get a chance, you've got a spare minute or two, if you could give us your reason why, it always backs up what Ruffy does. He likes to go on a long mazy and then eventually tell you why he's plumping for that team. Both these guys are going for Aberdeen. It's almost like Carrie Arneson the other night there. You know, once a Don, always a Don. We will find out as the league progresses, the League Cup, whether you guys are going to be on the mark or whether I'm going to nail it with Hearts. Couple of things I want to get your thoughts on. We would actually be talking about the Champions League draw, but you know, when I look at it, it takes such a long time. You know, everybody has to be, you know, wheeled in. The big ceremony, it's still ongoing at this moment before we eventually get to it. There will be that kind of pain, I would imagine, Gordon Smith, for Celtic when they see the teams in there being drawn out.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt about that, because I'd imagine they would get, I don't think the seeding would change. They would probably have been in the group that Malmo will be in. Celtic would have been in there. And I think, you know, if it's glamorous ties, the fans are going to be even more upset by it. You know, the fact is that obviously they might have struggled in the group. But the main thing is it's a quality of games you've got. You know, beforehand they've been in groups with Barcelona and people like that. And it just makes it. And now, regardless, I mean, there'll still be some decent sides in the Europa League, but it's not the same.
And one of the points I was talking about at the weekend, Ruffy, and it's something that I think we are moving more and more towards, is irrational behaviour, whether it's in newspapers or on programmes like this. You know, Wayne Rooney scores a hat-trick for Manchester United. Last week they wanted him hung, drawn and quartered. Couldn't score a goal. I mean, it's nonsensical. In fact, I was mentioning to you the tail end of last season, you know, they were wanting him dumped out of the England side. Then he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, people just react with, you know, crazy statements game to game.
Yeah, well, I think the problem with Rooney was they weren't playing him where they should have been playing him. They were playing him off a striker, they were playing him out wide, they were playing him all over the place. Last night they played him off the two centre-halves, and he did what he's good at. He reads the game particularly well, and if you've got a midfield player who can play a pass, you're on a winner.
Can I just say that, sounded a bit like Graham Souness there, can I just say? But the pass from Schweinsteiger, I mean...
He had four in a row.
It was unbelievable. I mean, it took the whole defence out.
I know, but it shows you what can happen. I mean, everybody said, Manchester United weren't that impressive in the first leg at home, 3-1 winners, and then they go away there and do it. And that's why, at times, I've seen this, and that's why a lot of people... I think, you know, I know Celtic are getting a lot of criticism, but I think deservedly so in some respects, because they should still be able to go to Malmo and get a result. Because, you know, a lot of the times the away game is actually easier than the home game, because the opposition has to come to you and they leave themselves open, because that's what happened to Manchester United. The opposition had to pull back 2 goals, and what happened? Manchester United destroyed them on the counter-attack.
Yeah, well, they are in the draw, that's for certain. I'm not sure, Ruffy, that I think Manchester United are even in with a chance of winning the Barclays Premier League. I still think they're short.
I think you just have to look at the defence. The part of Man United's, although they have a lot of quality players, world-class players, they haven't done anything with their defence.
Who's world class?
No, they had. They used to have the world class.
Schweinsteiger probably gets close to being world class, I think.
Yes, that's a good shout, Gordon.
Not now. He was, but not now.
Well, he's only 30.
No, he's not.
No, you're not having it?
Well, why would they let him go if he was world class?
Yeah,
Would you let a world class player go?
He was beset by injuries. That's the great thing about this programme. I love arguing with you. Just look at your whole body language there was, I don't want to fight. You need to be up for a scrap this season.
The point I'm making is I don't think Man United will do anything in the Champions League because of their defence.
Well, let me tell you this. We were in, one of you I think has changed your mind on the Barclays Premier League on who's going to win that league. I'm sticking with Chelsea because if they land John Stones and Pogba, Paul Pogba, I think we're going to send out a strong message. A couple other things before we finish. Three things, actually. Sean Maloney looks as if he's coming back to English football at Hull City. I think he couldn't settle in America.
Yeah, and it's good for Scotland too, because he's still very much part of the Scotland setup.
Who are you laughing? Why are you
It's
laughing?
sometimes hard to settle when you're a country far away and they're sitting bottom of the league.
Yeah.
And somebody offers you a get out clause. Why not?
Yeah. Did you find it tough to settle in Orlando? Because it's sunny. There's beaches. There's lots of activities for the kids. Was it a tough one for you?
Not at all, as Gordon will tell you, because he's been abroad as well. When the sun's shining through the window in the morning, it's a joy to be there, and you can jump into the pool on the way out into your car. So it's quite it's a quite relaxing atmosphere.
Just out of curiosity, why then did you come back to Scotland?
Well, Gordon again, I'll tell you, when a big club wants you to come back, you have to challenge yourself to play, and it was Celtic, and I just wanted to say at the end of my career I'd played with one of the big clubs.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I can understand
No, I
that.
came back because my contract was up. That's why I came back.
Yeah, well, it wasn't different reasons, but I just always good to get your insight into it, guys. Well, with that in mind, there's a guy who's heading back to Scottish football, Billy Mackay. It could be, as we mentioned, that you guys talked about it in the first part of the programme, he scored over 50 goals for Inverness. He could be ideally what United are looking for.
Yeah, it's a big miss. They've even let the boy Graham go. They've let nearly every striker go that they've had, but he fits the piece for me. He's the kind of player with the midfield that Dundee United have got. He's one of these guys. You put the ball in the box, you give him a 1-to-1, and 9 times out of 10 he'll get a goal for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there might have been a few clubs interested in him if he's available. Even maybe Inverness again, although probably financially they've got a problem with that. But Dundee United's bid's been accepted, I
Yes,
think. Yeah.
£200,000. Another good thing that I think about Scottish football, and we deserve to sing the praises of Berwick Rangers. They're taking on Arbroath at the weekend. It's free to get in. The supporters trust down there will have buckets and collecting money, and that money will go to some benefit for the club. I think I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they'll collect money on the day, but people can get in for nothing. I think that's great. Berwick against Arbroath, it'll be a good game.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because I think there'll be the main factor will be to see how many fans are there in comparison to how many normally come along.
Yeah. So
they know, because this roughly would give you an indication of what your fan base is. Because if people aren't going along when they're getting in for nothing, then that's it. They can't be considered a fan at all. So the total fan base on a free day will be how many come along this weekend.
Well, let's hope the marketing department gets on it, Ruffy, because the biggest problem sometimes is people are not aware of what's happening.
No, what you want to do is you need to get them in the stadium. If you get them in the stadium and give them a good game, the main objective is to bring them back. So once you've got them in there, you've got to perform and you've got to win.
Now, I know Fraser Wright watches the programme and his dad watches the programme. He's joined Dumbarton tomorrow night. It's Falkirk against Dumbarton. Where's your mind at with that one, Ruffy?
I think Falkirk, a team, again, recovering from the disappointment of the Cup last year. I think they've got a good quality players there, a lot of young players there. Unfortunately, they have to sell some of them on from time to time. But no, I think Falkirk will be there again in the playoffs.
I think it'll be a good game because I think Dumbarton have shown already that they've got things going at the start of this season. They've had really good results. I think it'll be a tough game for Falkirk, and I think Fraser Wright's a good signing for them. He's a good player. I was quite surprised St Johnstone decided to let him go, but he's gone to Dumbarton, and I think that's just exactly the type of player that Dumbarton will be able to use and get the benefit from.
Yeah, and just briefly, Ruffy, you're a big fan of the Europa League. Friday's draw tomorrow, Celtic will be looking to see who they're going to get in it. I think it needs a couple of tasty clubs to try and ignite the Celtic fans' passion for it to come out in great numbers.
Yep, as I was saying to you guys, I had a chance to look at the pots, everybody who's in them. There are not Champions League sides, but there are tasty sides in there that would bring out the crowds to support Celtic, but it depends who they get.
They need somebody big.
I think so. I think they need a good draw in terms of a decent side in there just to entice the fans in. And also, I think they need to get results. I think Celtic have to show... They did it last year, to be fair to them. They did qualify out the group. And I think they'll need to do that again this year because the pressure will be on in terms of the funds that are required to be raised because they've lost out in Champions League money.
Yeah.
And Europa League money is about a third of Champions League, but only if you've got a degree of success in it as well.
OK, we'll discuss that on tomorrow night's programme. Hopefully Ruffy and Gordon will be here. They're going up to Aberdeen tonight to have a free slap-up meal. It's the only reason they could have tipped Aberdeen to win the League Cup. I'll be heading through to the Edinburgh Festival, well, at least one half of the city, after my tip. It's all about opinions. Give us yours. Join in the programme. We're delighted that you could watch us on STV Edinburgh and STV Glasgow. From Ruffy and myself and Gordon Smith, thanks for watching.